And another article from the Weather Channel, which is featured on the Weather Underground website today. And today being Monday, 24th of April 2017 in the United States. Major warm-up expected in the northeast late week into this weekend. First 90-degree day possible in Washington, D.C. And of course I've been talking about a prophecy of Jayton, who is quite a hot boy. So you'd expect to see some warm-up and some hot weather if there's genuinely going to be some kind of reflection in the weather to do with Jayton's prophecy. And Jayton, of course, is a blend of Nathan Breeze and Jacob Wetterling, two boys who are no longer with us here, sadly. But they seem to have drawn my attention to two dates, one being Thursday the 27th of April 2017, which is my birthday, and the other one being Sunday the 30th of April 2017 in America, which will be Monday the 1st of May in Australia. And now it looks like Australia's going to have a tropical low, possibly becoming a cyclone on my birthday, which is unusually late for that to be happening. Meanwhile in America, it's looking like it's going to heat up. So I'll just play the video here, so you can see what's going on towards the end of, and this is sort of towards the end of the week, right at the end of April.
Scenes from Earth Day in Washington, D.C. on Saturday, and you can see the clouds, the rain. It was a little bit yucky. Hey, we're starting out the work week from the Mid-Atlantic to the Northeast. Not too bad, still a little bit chilly. Temperatures, though, are going to warm up, so hang in there. By the end of the week, we are going to be looking at some very easy-to-take temperatures. Today's highs in the 50s in D.C. We have 60 in New York, 62 in Boston, which isn't too bad. Now, look at Thursday. The big warm-up comes through the Mid-Atlantic, 85 degrees in D.C., and it gets even better on Friday in D.C., approaching 90 degrees, 76 in New York, and 70 in Boston as you head into the weekend. Scenes from Earth.
Yes, that's pretty cool. Well, warm by the looks of it in America towards the end of the week. The Northeast will enjoy a taste of summer late this week into the weekend, and some cities, including Washington, D.C. and Philadelphia, could record their first 90-degree day of the year. So Philly's getting hot. The jet stream will bulge northward into eastern Canada to allow a warm southerly wind flow to develop across the east, which will send temperatures to the warmest readings of the year so far in parts of the region. So a warm end of April, start of May. I've been talking in my last video about the risk for severe thunderstorms towards the end of the week, or particularly for Wednesday, which of course is my birthday. In Australia is Wednesday the 26th in America. And here we have the current setup. So the same jet stream flow that's going to drive severe weather across this area down here, across these mid-southern states, is going to cause a big warm-up in the east, dragging that warm air up from the south. So it's where the two air masses collide, and you have all that energy with the jet stream that you tend to get severe weather. And severe weather is going to return on Friday and into the weekend as a result of the same system that's bringing the warmth. So on Thursday, the warmth will begin to build in the northeast and mid-Atlantic Wednesday, but by Thursday it will feel summery as highs reach the 80s. From western and central New York into Pennsylvania, eastern Ohio, West Virginia, Maryland, Virginia, and North Carolina. So North Carolina, they've just had floods, and they've currently got flooding. So it's going to go from flooding rains to quite warm and sunny. These temperatures are 15 to 30 degrees above average for the final week of April. So a pretty big step up in temperature from what's normal. And this just shows you how high the temperatures are going to be compared to the average. So coming across here, not too much on the western edge, where you're getting close to where the storms will be. But as you move east, places like Buffalo will be 25 degrees Fahrenheit, warmer than normal. And you can see the trends there. A lot of places are 19 or more. Philadelphia's 15 degrees above normal. And probably the standout there is Buffalo, 25. That's a huge step up from the average. And that's for Thursday. So when you've got a lot of warmth in the atmosphere, a lot of moisture, and collisions of warm air masses and cold air masses, all of that provides energy for severe thunderstorms in certain areas. Basically where everything's colliding. So a handful of record highs may be challenged Thursday afternoon, including Buffalo, 84 degrees, and Rochester, New York, which is going to be 86 degrees. So from Friday through Sunday, now this includes Sunday is the date that Jacob and Nathan have flagged, along with my birthday, but in particular that Sunday, Friday through the weekend, will remain summer-like across the northeast and mid-Atlantic, with the warmth likely reaching its peak Saturday afternoon. So, very interesting. A lot of stuff, unusual stuff happening. Friday, highs in the 70s are expected in much of the northeast and Ohio Valley, with 80 plus temperatures dominating the mid-Atlantic. And like it said, Saturday is when it's likely to peak. Widespread highs in the 80s are likely from New York City southward into the mid-Atlantic, with temperatures holding in the mid-70s, or in the 70s, sorry, across much of New England. Washington, D.C. may record its first 90-degree day of the year on Saturday, which would be nearly 3 weeks earlier than the average date of this milestone, which is May 17. And May 17 is actually 33 days after Good Friday, which, if you were to go with the idea that Jesus, assuming you believe in Jesus to begin with, if you believe he died age 33, well, that date there is 33 days after Good Friday. And 1st of May is 17 days after Good Friday, which is, as I've been saying, Sunday 30th of April in the United States. When it is 17 days after Good Friday in Australia, it is going to be Monday the 1st of May, so 1 day earlier in the United States. The earliest 90-degree reading for the nation's capital is March 22, so beating that by a mile. Philadelphia could also reach its 90 degrees for the first time this year on Saturday. This would be almost 4 weeks earlier than the average date of the first 90-degree day, which is May 24. But it has occurred as early as April 7. So it won't be as much of a record it'll be more of a record, for Philadelphia. I thought that was April 22, March 22, so it won't be a record for Washington, D.C., but it will be for Philadelphia, just by a week or so, if it happens. So, yeah, warming up, getting hot, and across the weekend, you're seeing, really high temperatures there around that Washington area and New York. So pretty warm for this time of year. Not necessarily record breaking, but potentially record breaking for Philadelphia. And I think that's it. Okay, maybe some records will be threatened. Record highs will be threatened Saturday afternoon, including a Washington DC. The highest ever recorded for Washington is 91 degrees. Raleigh in North Carolina is 91 degrees. Philadelphia is 90 degrees. Allentown, Pennsylvania is 86 degrees. Lynchburg in Virginia, 88 degrees. Roanoke, Virginia, 89 degrees. Charleston, West Virginia is 90 degrees. Huntington, West Virginia, 87 degrees. And Beckley, West Virginia, is 85 degrees. Maybe that's the Charleston that's flooded, actually. Maybe not the one in South Carolina. Sunday, much of New England and upstate New York will return closer to average, with highs mainly in the 60s. So, cool down happening Sunday. But that stretch, what they call the Interstate 95 corridor from Philadelphia to Washington, could again reach 90 degrees on Sunday afternoon. And that's the date that Nathan and Jacob have flagged as a date to watch. And it's going to be a hot one. Philly's going to be hot. Additional record highs may be challenged in portions of the mid-Atlantic. And looking ahead further, low temperatures Thursday through the weekend will also... So the minimum temperatures will also be well above average. Most of New England and New York State will have lows in the 50s, while the mid-Atlantic won't even drop out of the 60s. Some of the urban heat islands, such as Baltimore and Washington DC, may not drop below 70 degrees Saturday, Sunday, or Monday mornings. So really warm overnight temperatures as well. And that is the end of the article. So hot weather. The date that Nathan and Jake seem to have drawn my attention to is Sunday, the 30th of April, which is 16 days after Good Friday. And it's going to be a hot one across Eastern America, and a severe weather threat from Friday through to Sunday across the southern middle states. So we'll have to wait and see what happens. Like I was saying in my other video, there is even the chance of a cyclone in Australia. Certainly a tropical low on my birthday, which is Thursday, 27th of April.